There is no need for that. Anyway, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about those jobs the lovely Alan Titchmarsh recommends that you do in the month of August. He also has one job that he recommends you never do in August, and we will get into that. So let's start. What is that first job that Alan Titchmarsh recommends? Now, August is well known for its hot temperatures and warm, drying winds, and this can cause a particular problem with both your hanging baskets and your container plants. So quickly can these dry out that you could be watering these up to every single day, and sometimes twice a day with your hanging plants. Of course, we don't want to create further problems with either overwatering or waterlogging, so always allow the top inch or so of your compost to dry out before watering again. And consider this: water your plants at the end of the day, so it's got the cool of the night with which to take in the moisture. Compare that to watering in the morning, when the plant is then having to compete with the heat of the day, which means it's going to lose loads of moisture while trying to take in moisture at the same time. It's just better for your plants. It's good advice. Alan's next job is for you to keep on top of the weeding, and even though this is most people's worst job, I personally can't stand doing it. It's such an important job because it really does pay dividends if you get on top of it early, especially with your annual weeds. An annual weed is a plant that will grow from seed, flower, and produce new seed from which it will grow in the same year. Because for every one you miss, a few weeks down the line, you could have an additional 100 or so weeds to deal with. So it's a very important, timely job. Now, you can just scrape them off the surface, just pull them off with your gloved hands, or just stick a hole in them, and that will deal with that because they don't have a particularly big root system. They are easy to deal with. But your perennial weeds, you can't do that with those. You will need to dig out the root system because they will just come back with vigor. So weeding, do it now, do it in a timely fashion. It will save you work down the line. More good advice. Now, I want to talk to you about deadheading your plants. This helps to encourage your plants to initiate further blooms, which will extend your flowering season into the end of the summer. But not all plants. We're talking about dahlias, canna lilies, fuchsias, bedding geraniums. There are plenty of plants that will benefit from this. Not all of them, but some. But before you even cut these, make sure you sterilize your blades, because it's very easy to transfer diseases from one plant to another in the sap, such as bacterial, fungal, viruses. So be very, very careful. Consider using rubbing alcohol. Get that on there. You can pick that up in most DIY stores. You could use your own dilution of bleach. Always make sure that you wash off the blade so you don't have any of that horrible chemical on there before you start cutting, or consider using heat sterilization off of a gas hob. If you've got electric, then you're back to the rubbing alcohol. So it's very important you don't transfer disease from one plant to another. It's very important to deadhead these plants, and when you are deadheading it, don't just take off the flower bud, take it off to the base of the stalk so you don't have these horrible snaggy stems that ruin the ornamental look of your plants. Oh, hold on a minute. If you're finding this video useful or even just mildly amusing, then don't forget to click the thumbs up, press on that subscription, and if you want to be notified of whenever we release a new video, then click on that notification bell. It helps us more than you know, and it allows us to do stupid visits like this in the future. Anyway, Let's continue to find out what old Boiled Butt has to say. Put my bloody glasses back on. Too hot, too sunny. Oh, it's too lovely. Now this next recommended job from Alan Titchmarsh, it is bordering on the line of blindingly obvious. You don't really need to be advised this one. Hope not anyway. And that is to harvest and pick your fruits and vegetables as they ripen. No one ever needed to say that, but there you go. It is on his list. We are now talking about lawn care, and it's just to do with the cutting heights of your lawnmower. For some reason, people are really tempted just to keep cutting lower and lower and lower during the summer. But really, it doesn't do your lawns any good. It can damage them. So don't cut it too low. Cut it higher. Don't cut it as often. It's usually struggling already to deal with the lack of moisture in the soil. So it's coping with environmental stress. You cutting it within an inch of its life isn't going to help it any further. So allow it to grow a couple of inches or so. Don't cut it too often. Take the stress off the plant. That means when the cooler or wetter weather arrives in the autumn, your lawns will look absolutely stunning with that first bit of rain. So there you go. Cut it to... What sound? Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but the camera turned itself off. Anyway. You are not really going to want to hear this, but now we are in August. September is just around the corner, and we need to start thinking about how and when we are applying our fertilizers. You can still use your nitrogen-rich fertilizers, but really you're going to want to start thinking about coming away from these, because all you are doing with those at the moment is encouraging the plant to produce soft, invigorated growth, which is a magnet for biting insects like your aphids, and we don't really want that. So consider coming away from your high nitrogen fertilizers down to your low nitrogen fertilizers. So possibly consider Tomerite, consider seaweed fertilizers. And let's be honest with you, come the end of September, you'll be stopping all this feeding anyway. It's quite unnecessary. Any wood that hasn't, or any fresh growth that you're getting now that hasn't fully hardened off by the winter, will be cut back by the first frost, and the plant would have wasted all that resource into producing that new growth. So there's no point doing it. So you can still use nitrogen rich fertilizers now, like my personal favorite, Miracle Grow. I don't get paid for mentioning that. And start moving on to something a little less rich. Simple as that. Good advice. Right, now, before we get into the next one, I have an important announcement to make, and that is, did you click on that like button? I don't care if you didn't like the video. You have watched it this far, so I'm sorry I wasted so much of your time. But take that finger, go down there, click on that like button. It really does support this channel. Lorna loves it when you click on that like button. So there you go. Click. Right, okay. Now, Alan Titchmarsh, this next one is to be vigilant with regarding your plants. Always keep an eye out for pests and diseases. And that is all very good, but then you should be doing that every single time you walk around the garden. Now, there is an issue. If you do have pests and diseases in the garden, to be honest with you, I have had a problem with mites for the last couple of years, and the only product I've found that will even touch it is Bug Clear Ultra. But that gives you a problem. You cannot use any of these systemic insecticides on plants that are in flower, because the toxin that kills off the your pest insects get into the nectar, get into the pollen, and any beneficial pollinating insects will go to your plant, ingest that, it will kill them too. So it is an absolutely big no-no. Never spray these products on plants that are in flower. All you can use at this time of year on flowering plants going to be your organic treatment. So just be careful. Always keep an eye out for insects. It doesn't matter which month it is. There's always some issue somewhere. but just be very careful on the control method that you use. Very, very important. You know, we live in a time when we're having crashing insect problems, and this is one of the reasons behind it. We are nearing the end, and I'm going to read this one as it was written because, well, you'll see. Preparing for autumn. Consider what needs to be planted in autumn and start preparing labels. What the flip does that mean? Consider what you're planting in the autumn. Usually people just go out and buy what they want and the label's in the pot. It just seems to be unnecessary to put it down in a list of advice. Consider what needs to be planted in the autumn. Well, what do you want to plant in the autumn? I don't know what I'm planting in the autumn. I haven't even thought about it. I'll tell you what I am going to be planting though. When the spring flowering bulbs and tubers come out at the garden tenders, I will be putting some of those in. But until I see what's available, I don't really know what I'm going to get. So I'm going to check that out later. But if you've got a specific plant that you're definitely going to buy or have already bought it and you're waiting for it to turn up, then you've already prepared it. I don't. It just seems to be an unnecessary point. It's a bit like, don't forget to pick your ripened fruit. I might just be being a little bit picky. Anyway, on to the very last one. And this is the job that Alan says you should not be doing in August. If you find yourself during a period of drought and your lawns are going brown, resist the temptation to water them. All that does is gets the surface inch or so of the soil wet and encourages your grass roots to come to the surface where the water is. Instead, he recommends one of two things, one more than the other. If you are going to water your lawns, then give it a deep watering so that the water goes down deeper into the soil to encourage your grass roots to go down deeper. But really, what he's saying is just don't bother watering. There really is no point. Now, let's be honest with you. I've heard this from many people before. These celebrity gardeners, I was going to say horticulturists, but unless you've got the right qualification, you're not one of them. Now, plant grass roots are like a mat, a thick mat. It's only about an inch or so deep. You're not going to change the physiology. You're not going to change its habit to go from a mat to some of these deep roots. It's not going to happen. It might go a little bit deeper like that. It's not going to happen. So really, either water or don't water. If you're going to water it, unless you've got a hosepipe ban. It is a bit wasteful. I wouldn't do it. Really, most people just leave it. It will go brown. It is fine. It will recover. It's not dead. This massive matted root system has got tons of energy. It will just bounce back as soon as the rains return. It really is very, very quick. So this is the no-no. Alan Titchmarsh says pretty much no watering. All this flannel about roots come to the surface, roots going down deeper. It's so marginal. I really wouldn't worry about it too much. But there you go. Those are the recommended jobs by Alan Titchmarsh that he says you should be doing in August. And if you've got any other jobs, stick that in the comments below. We genuinely would love to hear from you. And plus, a lot of people like to read them. I read them all the time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I've gone a bit weird. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.